Because the one thing I have learned about myself is that, and this is important to the woman who is listening, who I am pretty sure I'm going to try to just make her ruin her life. Um, I want everything to be recorded. Like I want my life to be on film. Like when it's said and done, I want everything about me to be like rewatchable, and like at some point, like like I went and found what you call? I went and found a. Did you see it? It's back there. Did y'all see it? Like it was in the cutscene. See if it's there when I turn around. Nope. But it was. Oh no. Hold on. Hold on. Oh yeah, I want everything to be recorded. Like Aaron Hansen once said that he wants to die on camera. Like when he finally dies, he wants it to be on camera. I don't necessarily want to die on camera, but I definitely want like the majority of my existence, like from here forward, obviously, to be recorded in some aspect. So that's why, like, when I was going through the stuff I was going through with HughesNet, I went out of my way to find I went out of my way to find a way to record everything I was dealing with because I wanted to be able to oh hey, couple coins. I wanted for people to be able to see the garbage I went through because I didn't want to continue to try to spend the rest of my life telling this story about how it was these people were so mean, rude to me. But they both wanted all those two. Okay. Like yeah, so it wasn't that. Like it's not that at all. It really did come down to I didn't want to be the one recounting it. I simply wanted to be able to tell you like here's what actually happened, and you get the voice of the guy on the phone being a complete turd waffle. So so like the idea of like all of this, like the idea of me being creating gameplay videos. Like I know nobody watches these. I am not under any circumstance. I am not by any circumstance delusional about
I
like my
mean,
view count.
I won't let you do it.
No, you won't. Thank you, fucking dick. But I still use this as a diary of sorts. So like the whole thing with my gallbladder, well, not my gallbladder and my hernia, like it's also documented. Like the crap I'm going through, like it's documented. Okay, okay. Here's the thing: we've been clearing out a lot of the what? Yeah. Okay, shut up. I've been going through crap. Like my life is a nightmare, and I want the world to know. Like that's what the hell is this?
That's noble sentiment.
You think so?
No, not at all.
All right. That's yeah. Thanks, bro.
Did you want me to lie?
You know what? No, I don't ever want you to feel like you got to lie to me. But that be hi, 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 hi.
Ah.
Aye. So a lot. Hold on. How many? There's 81 moons here, and I currently have 33. I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, going to try to get every moon
All
in New
right, you're
Dunk City.
back. Yeah. That was
I'm
a
not gonna try
short
to get
trip.
every moon in New Dunk City. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get
Figured it would
I'm gonna get
end
the
at a
number of
bar.
moons I can get
I figured it would end at a
for
bar.
this video. Like that's all there is
Oh,
to it.
hey, but that's like $2 in Bitcoin.
Look, I'm just gonna get what I can get in this video, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
To the
Like we'll move on to the next kingdom.
Are you still playing Odyssey?
Yeah, I haven't finished. Like
How
I've
much is
beaten.
left?
Oh, the game is done. Like I beat it.
No. Yeah. But I mean, like the extra stuff.
Oh, there's a lot of extra stuff left. Um. Ah.
So we got like really off topic as usual. Although I mean, we don't have a topic, but we were technically talking about something, and then it transitioned into music. You were talking about fans or celebrities and their favorite wrestlers. I was pretty interested to see where you were going with that.
Oh, not necessarily fans, but I was thinking more along the lines of like people in the industry. You know, the people in these streets. I was saying like if you ask, like if you got to hear, like, oh, so Sasha Banks, who's your favorite wrestler, like from back in the day? It's like it's gonna be somebody who probably moved merch, like, you know, because they claimed these people of like, oh yeah, we were for fans of the Goo Block,
No, her favorite was Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero. Yeah, I mean, and then he's
That's no, that's well documented. She was a legitimate, actual massive fan of Eddie Guerrero.
well, I
Snoop
was
Dogg
using
took her
her.
to freaking WrestleMania one year, and she got to meet him and cried
Sasha
at
Banks,
his
if you
feet.
happen to see this, two things. One,
She's
don't be
Sasha
offended.
is
And
an
two, if you are, I
actual
don't care.
Sasha is an actual wrestling fan.
It's like if you are offended, I'm sorry.
It's okay because
But
if you
if
say
you,
someone wrong, I'm going to correct you. That's fine.
yeah,
Keep
my
going.
friend's an asshole, so you know, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Now, here you'd be better off going back to the women from a few years ago rather than the women who are wrestling now,
Like
because the women who are wrestling now
who would
actually grew
Nikki
up as wrestling fans.
like who would Nikki Bella's favorite wrestler be?
Oh, undoubtedly,
John Cena.
she would be like, I love. Yeah, probably. But I mean, even a little bit before then, like Kelly, what was her name? Um, that 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 girl John Cena. I can't remember her name.
Uh,
Caitlyn. That's it. Caitlyn. Then you've got. Well, here's the thing. AJ. AJ was a wrestling fan.
yeah, I understood.
Um, who else was around then? Like Naomi. I don't think Naomi was a wrestling fan. She was a freaking dancer. Um, I mean, there are some women today
This isn't
who
the room
like
I
this
thought it was.
wasn't their first career, like Charlotte. Charlotte didn't want to become a wrestler.
Then
Charlotte
why
didn't
did
become a
she?
wrestler until after her brother died. Because her brother tried to become a wrestler. Her brother tried to go to the performance center and then he died and she was like, well, I'm gonna continue his dream for him.
How'd he pass?
Drugs, I think.
Oh, don't do children. I'm telling y'all right now, Please don't do drugs. Like it sounds like
Yeah, I think
you know,
it was really random. It was like in China or something.
pun not intended.
Wow.
Yeah, that got dark. That was dark. I didn't have to say that.
Um,
I didn't, but I did. This is where we're going.
Becky grew
Lynch.
up a fan. She went and started training at 18 with Finn Balor. Um, but then you also got Bianca. Bianca was not a wrestling fan. Bianca was a freaking professional athlete. She was a um, what is it? What's that extreme one that people do nowadays? CrossFit. She was a CrossFit person until an injury forced her out of it.
Hmm.
Um,
How in the
Carmella,
world
her
can
dad
you?
was actually a wrestler.
How can you be in anything that leads to an injury that you couldn't to the point where you couldn't continue doing it, but you can
Yeah,
wrestle?
and then yeah, it doesn't really make sense because diverticulitis forced Brock Lesnar out of the MMA, and then he came right back to WWE.
Diverticulitis? I didn't know he was a diver.
Yeah,
You're proud
boy,
of me.
there are
I know
hits
you.
and misses, and most of them are misses tonight. Um,
Wow, what a cunt.
uh, who else
Oh
is
shit.
Asuka? Asuka was a graphic designer.
Wonder
Asuka,
how
I
much.
think, used to
Wonder how much
work
porn
for
she made.
Nintendo.
Okay, now
Shut
you
up.
just
Who else is there?
now you're just made. Now you're just saying gobbledygook. Oscar didn't used to work for Nintendo.
I think she did. Or like she helped design like some video game.
Oh,
Or worked on some
Asuka.
video game.
And now she speak of the good English.
Yeah, the great English.
I don't feel bad for making those jokes because if
Are you
you listen
ready?
to that
Are you
one,
ready?
yeah.
Here we go. Urai is a graduate of the Osaka University of Arts Junior College. She has written for Xbox
There he
Magazine
is.
and designed graphics for Nintendo DS and various mobile applications.
That's amazing.
Wow, she used to be a figure skater. Wait, no, she cannot.
What does it say? She can speak good English.
No, it says she can speak Japanese, English, French, German, Spanish, Italian, and Dutch. Who lied? Did you just go and change her Wikipedia
I
page?
mean, she can speak it. I don't mean she can speak it well. She's like, you can't even shut the fuck up. No one cares.
There's a rumor that she has one child, but no one can confirm this.
What a weird rumor. What the fuck? Why Mario? Go the direction of the fucking.
Oh, she just full on used to work for Microsoft too. She used to wrestle with the Xbox 360 logo on her gear.
She might have just became my new one of my new favorite wrestlers. Got it. Like
It's like
Oscar.
when Jordan went specifically like with up, down, down. And I mean, in some cases it's true, but he's like these people aren't gamers. But then you run into people like her, and you're just like, I think you're wrong on that one.
Hmm. It isn't. It is like really common though that a lot of these people that a lot of people are getting to the point where they are. Ah, shit. Come on. Ah, thank you. a lot of people are claiming like getting claiming to be into gaming because it's lucrative. Like gaming is like a very lucrative hobby. Like you can definitely
Hmm.
definitely get paid. Dang it.
Yeah, so back to what we were saying. A lot of modern day people are exactly,
Oh,
they're pretty much the same as us, though. That's the thing. Like, specifically the ones who were fans of wrestling, like, they're going to say the same stuff that we're going to say, honestly. Because, it's been mentioned a million times. Seth Rollins was Sting's biggest fan when he was a kid.
who?
Um,
Sting?
Sting, yeah.
Hmm.
Speaking of Adam Cole, Stone Cold is his all-time favorite. He he talked about this on Up Up Down Down. He said, "I actually shaved my head when I was in seventh and eighth grade because of how much I love Stone Cold Steve Austin." And he was like, "It's true. There are pictures of me," and then they posted his freaking school picture.
Whew.
Something that'll catch you off guard. Cesaro, well, apparently his favorite wrestler, one of his favorite wrestlers growing up was the Mountie.
Sure. I believe it. I do. I'm not even gonna pretend like I don't. I
It's
100% believe
it's
that that's true.
the I don't remember exactly what it was. The story was that he was like growing up in Switzerland. We could only get so much stuff, and the Mountie was part of what they got. so, and so he absolutely loves the Mountie.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, watching them play Uno, I've learned a lot about those four people, and they are all massive wrestling fans. Hmm. Um, how did you end up with 82? What kind of bet was that?
Hmm. I am loving this. This is information I didn't know I needed.
Um, Honestly, like you don't find Adam Cole entertaining, like on the mic or in the ring, but I guarantee you, if you watched him play Uno,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like
because
Adam.
he's not the character.
Yeah, like and that's the thing. Like I, how do I put this? Like these are
You'd
people.
rather see him not be the character.
Yes, I'd probably just rather. I'd rather probably see him get to hang out as Adam Cole, or just get to be Adam Cole for like 20 minutes, and I'd probably be like, oh, that dude's pretty awesome. But his character, mind you, not his character, but it's the character that gave him that he has to play, just
Well,
sucks.
I mean, that's also it's not the character they gave him to play. It's the character he's been playing his whole career. Because he's come on, he's practically the same way in Ring of Honor. He was the same, if not more of a douchebag, because he had more freedom in Ring of Honor. Oh, how much did she bet? Oh my gosh! This is the second time in a week someone won Final Jeopardy after betting zero. And it was the person in third place. Wow. Like the other day, this lady had $2,000. The people ahead of her both were ahead of her by more than $12,000. but all three of them got the question wrong, and she had 0 and 1.
Hmm. What
That's the
can?
magic of Jeopardy. So back to what I was saying. Who else is there? Okay, well here's one. Big E. Big E didn't plan on being a wrestler. He was super into football. Wanted to go the football route. Got hurt. Uh, who else is there? I actually don't know much about Kofi. Don't know much about Kofi. And of course we know Randy's story. The whole army situation.
Who? Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Also Montez Ford. He was a freaking Marine.
Really?
Yeah. Um,
What a.
Dawkins, I actually heard about this story. Dawkins went straight from college to the WWE. Like, the WWE was his first and
Okay.
has been his only ever job. Because he used to live with Tyler Breeze, and Tyler Breeze told a story about how uh, when he moved in, and apparently he was a massive slob, and once his mom literally came over, cleaned his room, cleaned his bathroom, and then made spaghetti. Give me a name.
Uh, Dominic Mysterio.
Well, come on, man. That's pretty easy. Dominic's
That's
literally been. We've known who Dominic was since he was 10 years old. And so this was pretty much a given.
really. Well, I'm pretty sure I know all the answers now. Let's try this again.
Uh, who else we got? Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin was a football player. Uh, I believe did he play for the Cardinals? Or was it the Chiefs? One of them. And he was also a boxer. Um, and Roman Reigns also failed at football.
Wow.
Uh, the I I don't think the Usos originally wanted to wrestle, if I'm remembering correctly, but they kept getting into trouble. Is that right? It was something like I think they kept getting into trouble, and then Umaga was like, "Well, come on," and then they went and learned from Booker T.
Yeah, that was another wrestler for sure who didn't plan to become a wrestler.
Oh, Booker?
Yeah, Booker T didn't plan to become a wrestler. His brother Stevie got him into it.
Yeah, keep him out of jail.
I mean, he was almost a little too late, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he was too late because he had been in jail already. Um, who else is there? Well, I mean, then you have people like, Paul Heyman, who has loved wrestling his entire life and has been involved in wrestling literally since he was 14 years old. Um, Also, Dan O'Brien, I think that wrestling was all he ever was. Belle Reeve. So in Smallville, they didn't use Belle Reeve in prison. they used to call Reed psychiatric ward. You got anybody else? Any other names?
What about Carmella? Can't imagine this is always what she wanted to do.
Kyle used to be a Laker girl, I think.
She was a professional cheerleader for sure. I think she was with the Orlando Magic.
She was a cheerleader. She was with some team. Her dad was a wrestler, and so technically she's second generation. But I don't think that, I don't think she always wanted to be a wrestler. If of the modern generation, specifically like the ones on Raw and SmackDown, of all the people that wanted to be wrestlers, I'm giving you Sasha, Becky, Bailey, Natty, obviously. Even I don't think Tamina wanted to be a wrestler because she started really late. Tamina had like 2 kids by the time she started wrestling. What are their names? Peyton and Billy tried out to be wrestlers at freaking 18 years old. Obviously, what's her name? Sassy Southern Belle. Lacey
Where has
Evans
she
was
been?
in the Marines. She pregnant.
Oh.
Obviously, Nia didn't want to be a wrestler. She was a freaking basketball player and a plus-size model.
Gotcha. Ah! Whore's ass.
I don't know much about the Riot Squad.
Nia being a plus size model is kind of interesting, given the fact that Nia. Are you serious?
Dude, when she was a plus size model, she wasn't even plus size.
No, that's what I meant.
Now she's plus size.
What I meant by plus size, she was just tall and lanky. She wasn't always a big girl. I wonder what happened. Like, did she get hurt?
Genetics. I don't know much about the Riot Squad, but obviously Lana did not plan on being a wrestler. Mandy was a fitness model. Dana Brooke was a fitness model.
Oh, and for anybody wondering, Mike the Miz Mizanin, he never planned to do anything else.
That's exactly right.
He did not have a backup plan. This was it. Like, he knew that this was what he was doing for the rest of his life.
I've known the Miz since he was 18 years old. I watched his whole season on The Real World. I knew the Miz before the world knew the Miz. Like, the Miz was always his name. And on the Real World, when they would go out and they would get drunk, Mike would leave the house, but the Miz would come back to the house. And then he would cut promos and they would wrestle. And this was before he was even a trained wrestler. Like, the Real World was his platform. And, like, he still didn't go and try and do Tough Enough for another, 2 or 3 years. Because he did a couple of seasons of the challenge after the Real World. And then I don't know much about John Morrison, but we know that Tough Enough was how he got onto the show. I don't know if he had a wrestling background.
Oh, what about Truth?
Our Truth, well, the problem with Truth is that he's older than time, so no one truly knows his origin.
But he don't really look old,
You don't. I think Truth should be 50 now.
But the thing is, When they say black don't crack, it's a very specific level of black that don't crack.
Yeah, that
He
right there.
he's that level of black that don't
Yeah,
crack.
truth is 49. Man. Oh, hey, I'm looking at a list of people right now. Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was a football player. He was in the army, and I know he did some mat wrestling. Um, oh, this is
No.
real stupid of me to be looking at things about wrestlers. I could have some results spoiled. AJ Styles, I believe. AJ Styles was born to wrestle.
AJ Styles. With a name like AJ Styles, you know he wasn't doing nothing that didn't require him to say his name 1,000 times. I'm the face that runs the place.
Oh, the Hardy Boys. That's a team.
Oh no,
No.
yeah. I know for a fact that wrestling was all they ever planned to do. Well, that and
Yeah.
dope.
Come on now. Triple H. That's another one.
Well, he only ever planned to wrestle?
Yeah.
Huh? Didn't know.
Yep. Triple H was a massive wrestling fan before he wrestled. Um,
Whew.
who else is there? I mean, obviously there are other people. Kurt Angle didn't plan on being a wrestler,
He didn't?
even though he was a wrestler.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, but he was a collegiate wrestler.
Well, the thing is like after you win the gold medal, what is next?
What is professional wrestling?
What's the next step? Yeah, Kurt was not a wrestler,
I mean,
a
he
professional
wrestled with
wrestler
a
when
broken
he
freaking
joined.
neck.
Yeah, he was not a professional wrestler when he joined, but I remember stories. Was when he started training, they had never seen anyone pick up professional wrestling faster than him, ever, until Trish Stratus came along. Because Trish was a fitness model. She didn't plan on wrestling. They recruited her. I believe the same thing with Victoria. Uh, Mickey James, on the other hand, was a wrestler. She was a wrestler's wrestler. Yeah, a lot of people from older generations.
It's kind of like I was
Heck, I
saying.
mean, even The Rock. The Rock never didn't plan on wrestling.
Yeah, sometimes football just don't work out. And there ain't really much else you can do. Oh, this is a nightmare.
Freaking Goldberg.
God, this is hard. This episode is gonna go a little long because there are moons in here. I want to try to just to do.
Well, can you answer this for me?
What's
Um,
up?
why don't you like Seth Rollins, and why are you wrong?
I'm not wrong if I don't like him. It's true that I don't like him. Um, I hung out with him once and it just was a bad experience.
Ah, shit.
Said the liar.
You left a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I did, and he wouldn't
That
really
taste
stop,
was semen.
and he would. Oh, yeah, bro, that's a joke. Uh, and he wouldn't stop bitching about it. So I just, I don't know. It's kind of like when you go out to eat with somebody, and like you pay for their meal, or they pay for your like part of your meal, and they won't shut the fuck up about it.
No, I don't because it's never happened.
Oh, this is hard. Welcome to a 40-minute episode, y'all. And then the next episode is gonna be me still doing New Donk City because we're just gonna do one episode. Was a lie. I knew it was a lie when I said it.
Let's go to AEW. Um,
Now Cody Rhodes always struck me as the kind of guy who wanted to be who wanted to be a tennis player.
we've had this conversation before,
What?
and I have told you that Cody is one of the biggest wrestling fans in the world.
Yes, I was making a
Yeah,
joke, you bro.
yeah, wrestling is all he ever wanted to do.
I wonder if that was the same way for Dustin.
I think so. I think it was similar situations, but not necessarily the same. Like Dustin grew up idolizing his dad, and so he wanted to emulate that. Um, and then, like Dustin actually got to see his dad wrestle. Meanwhile, Cody did because they're separated by like 20 years. Um,
Mm.
Not necessarily, not 20, but 15 or 16 years. Um, but the different experiences they have as children
I remember this person was
um,
just here, jackass.
is that Dusty was still full-time wrestling when Goldust was a kid. And so he rarely, got to see his dad. Meanwhile, Dusty had been retired while Cody was a kid, and Dusty full on coached Cody's football teams, never missed one of Cody's wrestling matches. So they had completely different experiences with him as a dad, but I think they both kind of idolized him because, Cody was also an amateur wrestler, and he grew up with the legend of his dad
Right.
rather than having to deal with his dad building the legend. And it was harder, I think, for Dustin because Dustin tried to come up while his dad was still building the legend.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a little difficult.
Um,
Cause I imagine Cody still deals with that now. Like, especially with him, like
yeah,
kind
he's
of
had
getting
they've both had their problems, which is why Gold Dust existed. They both tried to find their own way of building their own legend. And for the most part, Gold Dust succeeded. And
the amount of times that took me the first time I tried this. Good lord.
Cody is on his way, but I don't think he's legend status yet. Although he treats himself like he is.
Mm. Treats him. Well, I mean, it'd be like that sometimes. Like if
You
sometimes you
gotta
have to
believe
be
in
your
your own
own
hype.
cheerleader. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that, and it annoys a lot of people, and I don't understand why.
No, I believe that. I think the problem sometimes though is that people believe too much.
Fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
that's always what I think about CM Punk. Like, yeah,
Oof.
CM Punk believed in his own hype, but he believed in his own hype too much.
Because it's one thing to believe in your own hype, but to be the only one who does, that's a different story.
I mean, it's the same way with Mox.
I can promo about anything. Can you? Yeah, I can just cut a promo forever. No, you can't. You genuinely
No,
think you do, and you can't.
I would listen. I would listen to Eddie Kingston speak forever.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah,
Because I think Eddie
Mox
Kingston
on
is
the other
really
hand.
Eddie. I think Eddie Kingston is really Eddie Kingston.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
he comes off as 300% natural.
All right, y'all. That's the end of this episode. We got one more to do before we can call it a night. Until next time, be safe and be easy. We out here.
I
Peace.
smell like tuna.